In this podcast episode, Vivian Tu dismantles widely held misconceptions about wealth, success, and financial health. Tu, a former Wall Street trader turned best-selling author and personal finance educator, shares her hard-earned wisdom on the realities of money, career growth, relationships, and what it truly means to cultivate lasting wealth and financial independence. Early in the conversation, Vivian confronts a common but damaging myth that the smartest person in a company or industry is the one who makes the most money. Drawing from a study she references, Vivian explains that intelligence and technical skill alone can only take you so far in your career. There is a cap to the rewards solely based on brilliance or raw talent. Instead, those who rise to the top and command the highest compensation are individuals who combine competence with emotional intelligence and social skills, what she refers to as ceniality. These are the people who are not just good workers, but are well-liked across their organization, who attend social events like happy hours and company games, connect genuinely with colleagues, and maintain a likable aura. This skill set, being personable, consistent, and engaging, often trumps being technically brilliant but socially disengaged. It's this nuanced knife and fork etiquette, or the subtle soft skills often learned through exposure to affluent environments, that set apart the highest earners. Vivian passionately insists that you need to be someone people remember for the right reasons, whether that's a good joke, solid work ethic, or thoughtful engagement, not merely your intellect or output. These soft skills are likened to a social currency that can unlock doors, promotions, and raises more easily than grades or IQ alone. One of the core insights Vivian shares is the undeniable advantage of proximity to wealth and opportunity. She highlights the systemic challenge faced by those from lower income backgrounds. Even if they achieve prestigious credentials or excel academically, they often find themselves sidelined in high net worth social circles due to cultural and economic barriers. It's not just about skills or knowledge, but about being immersed in environments where wealth is the norm, where informal knowledge such as networking, etiquette, and insider opportunities are accessible. This language of wealth and experiential learning, attending exclusive events, knowing the right people, and understanding nuanced social dynamics, substantially accelerates financial success. Vivian stresses this is why the trajectory and timeline to wealth differ drastically among individuals. While anyone can become wealthy, thanks to accessible financial tools and mindset shifts, those who start with wealth-adjacent exposure gain opportunities and insights that lower-income individuals might have to pay years to acquire. For listeners feeling stuck financially, whether burdened by debt, lacking savings, or overwhelmed by managing money, Vivian provides grounded, pragmatic advice. She stresses that financial recovery often requires uncomfortable but temporary lifestyle adjustments, advocating for focused debt repayment strategies by ranking debts from highest to lowest interest and aggressively addressing the costliest liabilities first. She distances herself from typical gatekeeper advice like cutting minor discretionary expenses, e.g. no more avocado toast or coffee, by highlighting how unrealistic those savings are compared to the power of negotiating raises or increasing income streams. A distinctive model she teaches is the STRIP method: savings, total debt, retirement, investing, and planning, emphasizing building an emergency fund first, carefully managing and paying down debt, prioritizing retirement savings with an eye towards tax-advantaged accounts, and actively investing by purchasing assets rather than letting cash sit idle. Vivian points out that many people mistakenly leave retirement funds in cash, losing growth opportunities. She urges active investing in diversified portfolios, including stocks, bonds, and perhaps real estate, to weather economic changes. Planning isn't just a financial spreadsheet task, but a vision exercise. Mapping out desired lifestyles, retirement locations, family goals, and generational wealth aspirations are critical to quantifying financial needs and making those visions achievable. Money's influence on intimacy and relationships is an unavoidable reality, Vivian asserts. Studies consistently rank money as one of the leading relationship stressors, often as prominent as physical intimacy issues. Drawing from her Wall Street and personal experiences, she explores how financial dynamics can challenge traditional gender roles and masculine identity, especially when a woman earns more than her male partner. While she acknowledges this dynamic can work beautifully when both partners communicate openly and refrain from weaponizing money as power, underlying insecurities, particularly the fear of emasculation among some men, can strain relationships. Vivian also shares nuanced observations about societal stereotypes impacting dating, such as how extremely successful or physically attractive women often face intimidation or avoidance in social settings due to others' feelings of inadequacy. This phenomenon leads to people quitting before they try, in terms of approaching or dating someone perceived as out of their league, whether that gap is financial or aesthetic. She points out the mental gymnastics people do to rationalize their insecurities, for example, doubting a woman's earnings as genuinely earned, and how this influences relationships and social interactions. Furthermore, Vivian recounts her own shifting dynamic with her fiancé, noting that growth and change in success can alter relationship dynamics, making mutual respect and non-monetary value contributions, such as emotional support, household management, and partnership, essential components of modern relationships. The episode's core theme revolves around exposing money lies that perpetuate poverty or financial instability. One critical lie is the illusion of quick wealth or get-rich-quick schemes propagated by social media, such as Amazon dropshipping and wholesale real estate, which rarely reflect the true struggle and prolonged effort it takes to build sustainable wealth. Vivian stresses the importance of realistic expectations and acknowledges that many people aspire to lifestyles beyond their financial means, driven by the rise of social media's relentless display of extravagant wealth. This keeping up with the Kardashians mentality encourages lavish spending and debt accumulation to project status, often leading to financial ruin. Vivian warns listeners against this delusion and the cultural pressure to show off wealth superficially, especially emphasizing the temporary nature of physical attractiveness for women and the depreciation of looks-only assets over time. Women, she insists, must develop their own financial independence and skills as a hedge against uncertain future. Vivian also critiques society's shame around money conversations, urging listeners to talk openly with friends about finances rather than hiding their struggles. Knowing what others earn or negotiate can empower individuals to advocate for themselves and break cycles of poverty. In the face of current economic uncertainty and layoffs, Vivian advises employees to make themselves indispensable by becoming a key point of failure. This means developing unique, hard-to-replace skills or roles that ensure the business cannot operate successfully without you. Whether that's being the top revenue-generating salesperson or the person with specialized knowledge, creating irreplaceability buys job security. Moreover, Vivian encourages employees to actively manage their career growth, documenting achievements in a brag book, consistently advocating for raises, and showing quantifiable impact to justify compensation increases. She advises people to engage in workplace social events and relationship building as means to remain top of mind and liked. Recognizing the importance of transferable soft skills like communication, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking, Vivian emphasizes the WeFM, what's in it for me mindset to approach negotiations and interactions, always framing appeals in terms of mutual benefits. Ending on a meaningful note, Vivian shares her 3 truths that encapsulate her philosophy on life and success. The first is a metaphor inspired by her first Wall Street boss's advice. Always buy them the chicken parm, meaning treat people with kindness and genuine interest, not just when it serves you, but as a daily habit that builds deep relational goodwill. Her second truth centers on understanding self-worth without unhealthy competition, especially among women, emphasizing abundant success for all rather than zero-sum comparisons. Finally, she advises never to kill the golden goose, a reminder to appreciate and savor the progress and blessings we have, rather than constantly chasing the next milestone and risking burnout or loss of fulfillment. Vivian defines greatness as being so aligned with your authentic path and values that external comparisons dissolve, the essence of being in your own lane and running a race you don't even recognize as competitive. Greatness comes from consistency, passion, and living in a way that your younger self would admire.